You better buckle up, Buttercup, because we're heading to the moon.
The overall stock market just today hit a new all-time high. Of course, I'll be breaking down why that happened and why I think it's going to keep pushing higher. But most importantly, I want to talk about old bitty Bitcoin, which has not hit an all-time high yet, but it has had a beautiful technical breakout. And I think it's just a matter of time before we see that follow through and dingity ding ding, a brand new all-time high. Before we get into that, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with a friend if you enjoy these type of market breakdowns. And with that being said, let's rock. When the world's largest casino officially closed today, Wednesday, July the 2nd, here is a headline. S&P 500 closes at another record on Wednesday after Trump announces a Vietnam-US deal. And obviously the fact that tensions are simmering down and really we're getting positive steps with relation to the trade war, well, the overall market is skyrocketing, clocking a new all-time high today, gaining about 0.5%. And really, we see on everything. SPY ripping, NASDAQ ripping, Bitcoin ripping, currently trading at 109. More on that in just a second. And then obviously all the tech names ripping. What's weird though is if you rewind a little bit, early this morning, there was a bit of bearishness. And the reason for that was because of some of the employment numbers, which weren't so good. The private sector lost 33,000 jobs in June, badly missing expectations for a 100,000 increase. So massively off. And that's exactly why in pre-market trading, there was a bit of a hiccup. But obviously, as soon as the market opened, the bull camp seemed to not care because when we ended, a lot of our favorite major tech names were deeply in the green. And it wasn't just the underlying equities market, it was actually the derivatives market as well. Here's the delta flow on the S&P 500, which is just a measure of the bullishness and or bearishness in the market. As you can see, people were buying calls, they were selling puts on the S&P 500 all day, and it wasn't just the S&P 500, same thing with the Mag 7. Bottom left, top right, lots of money flowing in, lots of bullish sentiment being shown. As I said at the start of this video, a lot of the bullish sentiment was because of progress with relation to the trade war. US reaches Vietnam trade deal with 20% import tariff, according to Trump. President Donald Trump said that the US has struck a trade deal with Vietnam. The agreement includes a 20% US tariff on Vietnamese goods, as well as a 40% trans-shipping tariff. He announced the deal days before a deadline, paring back the reciprocal tariffs set to expire, sending US duties on imports from dozens of countries soaring. So this is good in the sense that we are striking deals, but there are a couple companies such as Nike, Adidas, Lululemon, Gap, that they make a lot of the clothes in Vietnam, and now with this tariff, not so good for them. So to take a quick second, step back and look at this whole picture. We have tensions simmering down in the Middle East. We have progress with the trade war, and now we have a monetary policy, or really a Fed in general, that's sounding a little bit more dovish than they ever have. What does that mean? Well, that means that Bitcoin should be looking good, and man, oh man, is it. Right here, a nice bull channel breakout, closing right above the line today, technical breakout. Obviously in the short term, I'm looking at 110, 111, then the all-time high of 112, but look at this, beautiful flagpole, bull channel, breakout, looking for the follow through, minimal risk, high reward. It doesn't get much better than this. And it isn't just BTC. Look at the bets on the related equities. Coinbase all day, call buying, put selling, bullish. MSTR, call buying, put selling. And then we could go directly to the ETF. Once again, call buying, put selling. Are you seeing a theme here in the world of cryptocurrency and really the overall equities market? But I'm really seeing it pop up in Bitcoin related names and Bitcoin itself. Lots of bulls, not many bears. If you watch some of my recent update videos, you know that the first 3 weeks of July is one of the bullish periods of the overall market in the entire year. And it's specifically bullish in the world of tech, which we know is highly correlated with Bitcoin. So on top of this technical breakout, higher highs, higher lows, we have bullish momentum. We're on top of all the EMAs, and we're also seeing bullishness in the options market. When you tell me that we have all three of those things and the seasonality is the most bullish it is the entire year, well, it makes me say, yeah, I think we're going to get the breakout, the follow through, a new all-time high, and then from there, it's an open range breakout, and I'm going to ride this sucker as much as I possibly can. And I want to be clear, when I talk about these things, I'm not just saying it to say it. I put my money where my mouth is, and in fact, I put about $15,000, a little bit more than that, on the line on a 2x leverage BITX play, which is Bitcoin, but 2x leverage, and I'm playing it for the July monthlies. Now, obviously, this goes without saying, this is not financial advice. I'm already in the position. I'm up about 25%, almost about a 4K, but I'm just showing you this to know that I'm not just a talking head. When I say things, I very much want them to be right. Now, unfortunately, I'm not always right, but I'm not just simply here saying what you want to hear. No, right now, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I very much believe that Bitcoin is gonna keep pumping. But obviously, with that being said, I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's what I love about this community, is we can have great multi-way conversation. Just because I'm bullish, just because I see something, maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, maybe you just have a completely different take. So I would love to know your thoughts in a comment below. Do you think this is smart? Do you think this is not smart? Do you think that there's a better way to play it? I would love to hear from you in a comment. But very quickly before I let you go, I do want to let you know that there is, in the short term, some things you very much need to pay attention to wrap up the trading week tomorrow, Thursday, July the 3rd. You're going to get non-farm payrolls, unemployment report, and initial jobless claims all an hour before the market opens. And then 30 minutes into the trading session, we're going to get some services and non-manufacturing PMI and prices data. So pay attention to all of that. And remember, it's a half day tomorrow, Thursday, July the 3rd. The market is completely closed on the 4th. And also, you might want to be paying attention to what in the world's going on with the big, beautiful bill. House Republicans threaten to sink Trump's mega bill. Tax and spending legislation moves back to lower chamber for another vote. Trump meets the GOP hardliner as tax bill hits resistance in the House. The fact that Trump is now individually meeting with people to drag this bill across the finish line tells me that it's not going as smoothly as he would like it to. So this is another thing in the short term that could clearly have an impact on the economy, thus the stock market, and more specifically, old bitty Bitcoin. With all that being said, I would love to hear from you in a comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm dead wrong? I would love to have that conversation. Other than that, I appreciate the good vibes. I wish you the best of luck. I'll catch you in the next one.